Steins Gate is one of my favourite anime of all time, with memorable characters, a great plot, and my personal favourite ending ever. So when I heard of Occultic 9, I was very excited to see what Chiyomaru Shikura could come up with. However, when looking up his other works, something became very clear. They, or at least the anime adaptations of them, were not very good, with all of them having a score of 6 on my anime list. It was clear that Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero were the outliers in his portfolio of work. So I was cautiously optimistic when I sat down to watch the anime. And after finishing the anime, I can definitely say that it is nowhere near as good as Steins Gate. However, I did really enjoy it and firmly believe that it is deserving of a score higher than a 6. So let's start with what I believe is objectively good about this anime. For starters, the opening is a banger. While Hacking to the Gate is better, this opening is nothing to sniff at and boasts some of the best visuals I've ever seen in an anime opening. Next is the animation. In the animation department, Occultic 9 has Steins Gate beat. A1 Pictures is one of the most underappreciated anime studios working right now, providing iconic anime like Sword Art Online, Blue Exorcist, Fairy Tail, Kaguya-sama Love is War, Your Lie in April, and Anohana. Occultic 9 has some of the most distinct styling that I've seen come out of the studio, and the animation, something that I don't usually care about, was stellar and really left an impact on me. Not something that I was expecting from an anime that people say is crap. Now let's move into subjective territory. Characters are the most universally agreed upon aspect about Steins Gate. Everyone loves the Steins Gate characters, especially Okabe and Kurisu. So how do the Occultic 9 characters compare? Well, it's a mixed bag. Some of the characters are actually surprisingly good, showing that Steins Gate was not a fluke, but others are just so forgettable that you could have just genuinely removed them from the story, and I would not care less. While not Okabe, Yuto is a very good protagonist that is relatable and easy to root for. You really want this guy to overcome the challenge presented to him, and I think that he is a memorable and all-round good character. The next noteworthy character is Shun Maritsuka, a detective who initially you don't know whether they are good or bad, but they have this amazing personality that would make them fit right at home in the Steins Gate crew. Ryoka is the best character in the show. I mean, I'm kidding, she isn't. She's kind of like Mayuri, but with a more memorable personality, and I like the revelations involving her character. Miyu is a very tragic character, and I thought the way she responded to the unfolding story around her was very reasonable, and the deplorable things that happened to her helped me to warm up to her character, as I was able to easily root for her. Asuna is the last good character. She comes into the story later than the other characters, but she leaves a good impression and adds a whole new dynamic to the story. The rest of the characters are crap. Sorai starts off interesting enough, but slowly fades into the background as the plot progresses. Ririka adds very little to the story, and every time she's on screen it feels like a diversion. Toko is a dull character who didn't need to be in the anime. Everything she does could have been done by a completely different character. Kiryu and Arya are actually interesting characters, but neither received the screen time they deserve to properly flesh them out. Now let's move on to the story. Occultic 9 actually suffers from the opposite issue to Steins Gate. The most common complaint about Steins Gate is the first half is boring. Now I don't agree with this, but I do agree that Steins Gate's second half is where the anime truly becomes a masterpiece. Occultic 9 on the other hand has an enthralling, intriguing beginning that kind of just peters out into a damned squib of an ending. Overall, though I do like Occultic 9's story, it has a more unique plot than Steins Gate and is told in an interesting manner that should hook you as a viewer. I really do appreciate how dark and bloody the story got at times, something I'm not used to with anime. However, we need to talk about the ending. Fear not, I won't spoil. Endings are very important to me and the one aspect of a piece of entertainment that will ultimately decide how much I like it. Steins Gate has my favourite ending ever, and has therefore secured its place as my second favourite anime. Occultic 9, however, has a very rushed ending. I've heard that this is because the original source material doesn't currently have an ending, so the anime studio had to come up with their own, but they could have at least come up with something more satisfying. Without spoiling it, let me describe how Occultic 9 ending feels. Imagine a romantic comedy. You're at the end of the film. The main guy is racing towards the church to stop the love of his life from marrying someone, except when he bursts into the church, it's empty. He then rushes to her house, where he finds her having sex with her new husband, and also the main character's brother. How would you feel if you sat through a film invested in the main character's story, and that's how it ended? You'd be pretty disappointed. That's how Occultic 9's ending made me feel. However, I still like Occultic 9 and still recommend it, as it is a lot better than people make it out to be. Also, I really liked the dub for this as well. I watched both Steins Gate and Occultic 9 dubbed, and both are really good. So I highly recommend watching that version as well if you can't get past the sub. Anyway, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!